Stage 1 and Stage 2 engine chill has started. Engine hydraulics at pressure. And Stage 1 fuel is closed out. Falcon 9 is in self-align. Falcon 9 heaters closed out.
Dragon has transitioned to configure for terminal count.
Vehicle tanks pressing for strong back retract.
Strong back retract has started.
Stage 2 RP1 bleed. Stage 1 RP1 bleed. AFTS final setup started. MBAC igniter purges. Pogo bleed.
Dragon has transitioned to terminal count and is on internal power.
Stage 1 LOX load closed out. Vehicle is transitioning to internal power. Stage 2 LOX load is closed out. Propellant fills are complete.
Dragon is in auto idle.
Ground gas closeouts is starting.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
Dragon is in countdown.
FTS is armed for launch.
Dragon, SpaceX, go for launch.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Stage 1 tanks pressing for foot.
All right, welcome folks. Mil Spec Ops Monkey here. Listen, I am so glad to be back. That was a very long trip, and it was an amazing trip, but I am slightly jet lagged and definitely under the weather as I caught something about a week into my trip over there, and you know what it is that I caught, but I am on the protocol, and so I am on the mend. So nonetheless, let's just pray my voice holds out as we get started with this. And so I did want to do this real fast. I'm going to push through on just so it gives me a chance to actually drink a sip of coffee and not cough while I'm talking to you. But let me just share this with you real fast. This is a Sky Glass advertisement, but it is not a paid advertisement. This is just Sky Glass is a good dude, and I want to share this with you guys. It's been about 17 days since I've done it, so here it is.
Put that 79 Yankee Bridge. Yankee 25, 79, do silver ground tank, 6 kilo. 2377 on half a kilo going somewhere around 597. 77, do silver ground tank, be a Lima kilo 5 and hold short of kilo 7.
All right, so without further ado, let's hop on over here to Sky Glass. And I apologize, I meant to run that seamlessly, but I hit the start button, and I've been out of pocket for a little while on doing this. So the Stream Deck and all these crazy buttons definitely take if you haven't done it in a while, it's like overload here. So, all right, nonetheless, let's go. We're sitting at about 237 up, kind of a light day. We've got a lot of weather here in Central Texas. In North Texas. So that is probably what is driving the lighter number in terms of the trainers that are going to be up. And those trainers do drive that number up quite a bit. So, but let's get into our watch list and all the other good data that we got a lot of catching up to do, actually. I will tell you, there were a couple of things that happened while I was gone. I did try to communicate those to most of the Patreon members, but you're not that, then you are going to be watching some new news. So, all right, let's get over here to our watch list real fast, just so you can see kind of a light in terms of the watch list goes. We've got, looks like some Homeland Security down on the Southern California border. Got an Intel Bird there, that gray 44, and then a nuclear security aircraft. And then let's see, that is going to be, that's a Doomsday plane, the Gordo. Got a little Venus there, that G5 flight, but that's, I think, just a training flight. And then we've got the Gestapo on the move. Looks like they've just landed in, and we'll take a closer look at them here in a second. More weatherbirds coming out of Florida. And then this one, Homeland Security rolling out of the islands. We had someone recently, maybe in the crypto world, decide to run and has now been picked up, maybe. And then we've got one of the Air Force birds down, or sorry, Army birds down in South America. That one's going to be one of the Blue and Whites Presidential Fleet aircraft. And then don't let us forget about our intelligence balloons sitting overhead. Those will come important here again in just a minute when we talk about some of the news stuff that's out there. So let's see if we got anything over Europe going on. We do have a C-135. Of course, we got our German Air Force intel balloons up, running over the area as always in abundance. Then we've got this NATO bird. Notice they're doing a lot of the man-in-the-middle stuff. Seems to be the trend lately. And let's see, you can see that one too. That's just another NATO E3 Sentry, just like the other one, man in the middle. E3 Sentry, is that P8? It's actually UK P8 Sub Hunter. There's that man in the middle again. Like I said, they have perfected this skill set, folks. You're going to see that here in a minute. We start talking about Arizona. And then there's a C-135 outrunning some routes there over, looks just kind of southern France, which is interesting. And let's see, we got anything out over here like it. So, all right, let's move on. Let's talk heavies for a minute. Nothing over Japan either. Not showing much. Now we got flashbang out in that general area, but here's your heavies. Kind of a light day for heavies, actually. We got a aircraft that coming out of Hano, Hickam Air Force Base. And then let's see here, just a couple across the center of the U.S. A little, get this down a little bit further to the right. You can see you got a couple down off of Florida. And we got this little surge right here in the center of the United States, all headed kind of from down in New Orleans, headed northbound and southbound. I think it's kind of interesting. Let me kind of get a different angle of attack on this one. C-130s, though. All right, rolling out of Louisiana, headed kind of up to the north and back. So we got a lot of movement there, too. So don't know what's happening from that standpoint. Let's get over to Europe and see what's going on. Give us just a second to marinate. It is thinking, okay. And Europe is actually kind of light, too. Now, remember, this is a 24-hour trace. And you can see a lot of stuff bumping out of England. Of course, that's kind of the hub for everything. I got that one coming out of, see, that's actually headed over to Norway. Got this one up in Lithuania. And that's an A400. So that's going to be one of the British birds. And let's see, a little something there off the toe of Italy, off of Malta. So it's kind of the normal feeder, and then some stuff coming out of Spain. And then you got this one that looks to be rolling in and out. It's kind of tucked in that little corner. I think that's Jordan, actually. Looks like it's taking off in and out of there. I don't think it's Israel, that's for sure. So, all right, over here to the refuelers. Let's get into that. I will show you kind of light again. Mostly middle of the U.S., kind of scattered across. A little bit of work up on the northeast coast. But, of course, flashbang's not here, so going to be kind of light. Nothing over the south towards Florida. Yeah, it's just kind of slow day. But they are just kind of spread out across the U.S. So that's a pretty good indicator that we've got fighters kind of all over the United States right now. So, and then that's actually an Italian air refueler. Looks like he was doing some work over Constanta right there along the edge of the Black Sea. And then we've got this one, which is a U.S. bird over Iraq, right along that Syrian area, probably feeding some airstrikes in Syria with U.S. military forces. Okay? All right, let me back up from that for a second. Let's kind of get into some of the data. We'll start going through it. I got some interesting things. One, first and foremost, if you haven't caught this, I did post it out there, but I'm going to talk about it again real fast because it is important. It's a really important data point. This is a TFR over Trump's residence. It is the first time he's had one there since he left office as POTUS. But the interesting data point about this is the fact that it is not it doesn't say VIP. It doesn't say ex POTUS. All right. It just says security, which is very unusual. I will tell you that. Typically, for presidential, any kind of presidential TFR, it will say at a minimum VIP. It actually says VIP for Flashbang. It says VIP for Bob Marley. And then if you go and look at the one over G.W. Bush's location in North Dallas. Now, I will tell you, he is the only former president that has a TFR. Okay, nobody else has one. El Barak does not have one. And if you know what that means in in Islam, that El Barak is the beast. Just instead of calling him the Kenyan. But here's one. Look, this is G.W. Bush. Now it says VIP. Okay. So last I checked it said ex POTUS, but now it just says VIP. So he's getting the same. So anybody that has been a president, previous president, when El Barak had his little soiree up there in Nantucket, and they put a TFR over that, it said VIP as well. And so that's what these guys get. The fact that Trump's is not a VIP to me is a red flag. Okay. Now, notice you've got some stuff going on here. This is probably tied to space ops. And we did just have that I guess, I don't know what you want to call it, X-38 or whatever it is, just landed the other day. But we did have some search and rescue, or I would say rescue, some search activity tied to the Challenger. They found a big chunk of the Challenger on the ocean floor out here off the coast of Cape Canaveral. And they had some divers out there recovering that. And so we'll look at some of the P8 activity. I think that may have been tied to that. And then we've got a TFR up here, space operations as well over that general area. But again, just pointing out the fact that this is a TFR over Mar-a-Lago, highly unusual. And I don't have a good feeling about it. I'll be honest with you. It should say VIP at a minimum. Okay. All right. Now let's get into what we've got to talk about here. First off, this is going to be your Gestapo plane N721AL rolling out of D.C. this morning, headed down to Huntsville, Alabama. Looks like it has landed there. We'll watch it to see if it goes back to D.C. or anywhere else. But notice that on Sunday it was in Fulton County. Let me go back to, let's see here. They've been in Memphis. They've been in Amarillo, Texas, Oklahoma City. They've been kind of all over the place since the last time we checked in. But right now, currently, Huntsville, Alabama. All right. Now let's talk Guantanamo Bay also for a second, because we do have some new different activity going on there. Now, typically I see troop replan. Those are going to be your 31 Bravo, right? Usually they come out of Biggs Army Airfield. I'll see them sometimes process through Houston and then go to Guantanamo Bay, but it is not with frequency, folks. And so what I'm seeing right now is this one coming out. This is a United Airlines flight, 737-800, coming out and going back and forth into Houston from Guantanamo Bay. And if you have been watching, I posted some data while I was in Israel. The board doesn't give me the rolling data like everything else. Guantanamo Bay is pretty much very limited to about 10 days tops, about 2 weeks. So if you just looking at the board, you'll notice that it is United Airlines, quite frequently coming in and out of Guantanamo Bay. I don't know what they're up to, but I don't think if it's troop rotation or they are manning up troops big time, right? They're putting a bunch of people in play. It's also been going through Kingston, Jamaica. I don't know what to make of it, but the last time I saw flights coming from Guantanamo in and out of Kingston was when Epstein was arrested. Okay, so just a data point for you, but we'll continue to watch it. But again, this is really unusual. All right. Okay, now let's talk Phoenix for a minute. Okay, this is tail number N620FB, and City of Phoenix noticed that it is not available for public tracking per request of the owner operator. Well, guess what? We actually are tracking it. And I want to show you, this is kind of an important thing. Now, I posted this, and the reason it's a good data point, I got to be very careful what I say. I'm not going to say let's just say shenanigans, okay? And you guys are going to have to read between the lines of what I'm talking about. I covered this before when there was an audit going on. And then I talked about the last time before the audit took place that this happened in around 2019, November timeframe. You guys may know what I'm talking about there. But let's get over here to the Phoenix aspect of it. Let's just show you. This is the aircraft, and this is on and around the time of, let's see, the election cycle. Okay. And just want to show you, this is this aircraft is known. We've already looked at the database. In fact, there was a lot of research done on this aircraft in the last set of shenanigans when they were doing the audit. This aircraft has what they call Dirtbox and Stingray. Now, if you're not familiar with those terms, Dirtbox basically is it allows an aircraft or a vehicle or anything to become man in the middle. It's what we see on the E3 Sentries. And so when you see them doing that round over and over circle, okay, what happens is that aircraft, that Dirtbox, becomes the cell tower. And anybody's cell phones that are below that aircraft are no longer connected to the ground tower. They're connected to the aircraft. And our phones think that it's the ground tower, but it's actually the aircraft. Now, this aircraft also has Stingray on it. Now, if you're not familiar with Stingray, very similar to Dirtbox. However, it allows them to both not only receive data, but to push data. Okay? Maybe you're tracking what I'm saying now. So let's get into the last 10 days of this aircraft. And I want to show you just kind of a buildup here. If you go to the day of the election, you're going to see that activity started to take place again. Now, I went 10 days back, so it should have taken me beyond that. But the shenanigans started the day of November 8th, all right, and November 9th. There's your 10th. But just look, as you can see the buildup over the areas. That's Maricopa County is where you're seeing it. Again, Stingray allows you to push data as well as pull data, and it doesn't matter. Anything that's connected through the air, they can actually push stuff to it, all right? So they can push data to your cell tower your cell phone or any kind of device. Now, this is the one that caught me the day after the election. This actually plane flew into California, and I don't know. It's highly unusual. This plane belongs to the city of Phoenix, by the way. As you can see, flew out of the city of Phoenix, flew into California and back. And that was on the, I think, the 9th. So anyway, nonetheless, and I will tell you, if my dates are off right there, I'm going to need a little grace because I am looking at OBS project, and it is about this big on my screen, and I should have memorized the dates. But nonetheless, it's between the 8th and the 10th, so to speak. Again, the shenanigans are definitely in play. I do believe that aircraft has the ability to push stuff into other locations. We saw it when the audits were going on, and we saw it in the previous election cycle. So again, shenanigans, maybe, I wonder. But imagine this right here. Like I said, they don't wish to be tracked, and we are tracking them. So we'll continue to watch them to see if they do anything new. But just keep your eyes on Arizona. Okay, that's all I can say. All right, so let's break away from that. Let's get over here to the other thing I was going to point out. This was November 8th. This is going to be your sniffer, your nuke sniffer helicopter. And this is just a data point for you. Notice the altitude deviations up and down, up and down. I guess they were worried about a dirty bomb or something taking place here inside the Senior Living Center Brown Zone area on election day. But they were out running routes. All right. So just a data point. Again, we're just playing catch up. So again, we'll continue to watch the stuff going on in Arizona. But I will say that the last time we saw that kind of shenanigans stuff taking place was, you know it, the audit. Okay. So very, very interesting nonetheless. Okay. Let's get over to Flashbang schedule. Like I said, he is out in the Asian Pacific area. He's meeting with Z today. And I don't know what's going on. Don't really care, but nonetheless, he's meeting with Z. That'll be interesting. Word salad coming out of that one. And let's get over to this. This is kind of another interesting data point. Remember, I showed you that aircraft that went down to the Caribbean. That was Department of Homeland Security. Is it related? I don't know. But I've seen a lot of speculation that this individual was making a run for it. And sounds like he bamboozled somebody. This is actually the Blaze over here. Collapse cryptocurrency exchange FTX had ties with Ukrainian government. Shocker. World Economic Forum and a top flashbang advisor. Imagine that. These are all probably tied together. But this bad dude basically took a bunch of people's money and made a run for it. And I would imagine he is a dead man walking. So we'll continue to watch it and see what happens. Body turns up or what the deal is. But now, remember, I was just showing you the city of Phoenix, Arizona, the fact that, Dirtbox, Stingray. I showed you the intelligence balloons over the United States and over Germany, etc. But this is a very important data point. State Department gives law enforcement and intelligence agencies unrestricted access to Americans' personal data. Yeah, this is stuff like facial recognition, pretty much anything they want. They're kind of bringing them all into the fold. I question the timing of this, but pay close attention to it because your freedoms are gone and we're not going to get them back. And if you've got anybody out there that is, corrupt and they have access to this, they have no limitation on their power and what they can do. Okay. When all of this stuff was given up, through or after 9/11, this, the intent, I don't know, was for this to be growing the way that it is. And our intelligence agencies are basically spying on us around the clock on everything you do. And so, again, this is not good because this now takes it out of the federal agency side, brings it down to the local agency side. All right. Now, I did see a couple folks talking about the sonic boom over Florida. That's and I said X-38. It was X-37 Bravo. Spaceplane lands after a 908-day orbital mission. Yeah, what it does, nobody knows, but it is basically a spy craft. And, those are cute little suits right there. Nonetheless, they're up 908 days, grabbing all kinds of interesting stuff around the planet. So, who knew? All right. Ukraine's shadowy kamikaze drone boats officially break cover. Check this out. This thing has got that little ramming head on the front of it. It's got a little camera, and they can mount stuff on top of this. But this thing has actually been out and about. They basically are claiming that it has taken out a lot of Russian Navy vessels. So just off the peninsula of Crimea last month. And so nonetheless, is what it looks like. Pretty interesting little thing. Who knew, right? Yeah, we've heard about them, but we haven't seen them. So it looks like those are out and about. And here's the other thing, too. I do want to point this out because this isn't the State Department. This isn't Homeland Security or anybody else making the conversation here. Note who is talking. And there's a reason for that because we know they are ingrained and embedded in Ukraine. They have been since the 50s. And there's a reason why they're in there trying to talk and rattle their sabers because they're getting on their heels right now, trying to preserve everything they've worked for over the last 80 years. So nonetheless, that's what's going on there. And just kind of read between the lines, folks. All right. Let's get over to the NOTAMs. Again, if you don't know what the NOTAM stands for, used to be Notice to Airmen. It's now Notice to Air Mission because we got to be gender neutral here. So nonetheless, we still got some stuff off of Southern California. We did have some boxes off of the coast of California. That has since gone. We do have some other stuff going on out here. Remember, again, there is some search activity tied to the Challenger that has been happening. I don't see anything new from that standpoint. Let's get over here to this side of the house. A lot of stuff on the northern side of the UK. And still got a box out and a couple more boxes here over kind of not specifically on the pipeline area, but pretty doggone close to it. Again, most of these are exercises. So let's do this. We're going to take a quick look as we get into this. We'll come back to the Ukraine map here in a second, but I want to show you the R-135 activity over the last 10 days. Again, these are reconnaissance aircraft, just to show you what's been happening. This takes you right back just past the election, November 8th. But notice we got some stuff going on. It looks like over Nevada. Quite a bit of routes back and forth, right? Running some stuff there. What they're doing, I don't know. But again, this is R-135 activity over that general area. The reason I point that out is because, remember, Nevada is one of those swing state locations, right? Now, the other piece, too, we do have them up here over the Northeast. Looks like we had one go across the drink. I think this stuff up over Lincoln, Nebraska is kind of a calibration side, but check this one out. Now, it's not going to show exactly on the map because I've got it centered over the United States, but that right there, folks, is right over Trump, okay? Right down the coast, right over Trump. Okay. Again, just a data point. Then we got a little activity down here off of Caracas. You can see running some routes right there, that general area. And then remember, down in that same location, you got Russia and Iran and China all down there doing exercises and hanging out together. So that may be why we're doing it, okay? And then this, running right up along Belarus, up over Latvia. Again, down along the line of Ukraine, and then down here just to the left side of the Black Sea. And let's see. That's important because the fact that the grain deal went south and then went unsouth. So, all right. Now, right there along the Syrian border, obviously just grabbing intel on ground targets probably. And then out here, kind of running some stuff over Saudi, which is interesting, in and out of Saudi. And then it looks like we got something coming in and out of kind of the Spain-Portugal area. But those are going to be your R-135s. And then let's get over here to the sub-hunters. Now, keep in mind the data here for the sub-hunters can be a little skewed just because we had a hurricane run in and and so you got a lot of traffic that basically left the state and came back, okay? But we'll still look at the data because I think it's important. You do have a lot of activity off the East Coast right there off of Canaveral in that area. I think that was probably some assist relative to that Challenger discovery. And then you got some stuff off of Norfolk, Virginia, probably talking to a sub off the coastline there, right? More than likely a U.S. sub off of that. Okay. We get over to Europe. And pardon my grid. It'll come in just a second. All right. A little bit off of the northern side of the UK, just running some routes back and forth there. And then you can see something up here off of Norway. Looks like it took off, disappeared, and came back. All right, now let's talk about the TACAMOs. Take, charge, and move out. These are the guys communicating with the subs, right? These are airborne command centers for ICBMs, including the submarines, okay? Notice they're off the coast, East Coast, down in Mexico, or the Gulf of Mexico, and off the West Coast. So pretty good indicator we got some U.S. subs in those general areas. And then this other one here, as you'll see, we're going to bounce across the drink into Europe. And I'm going to point out this one, which is it's pretty rare actually to see this. But you're going to see we got one right off the coast of Portugal and Spain, right there over the water. That would indicate we got a U.S. sub in that general area, folks. That's how you read between the lines, okay? All right, now let's look at the civilian spy aircraft. This is going to be like your Brio 68. Just notice that it's running right to just to the west, kind of Moldova and over Bulgaria, which I find very interesting. What are they doing in that general area? Now, I tell you, got a lot of U.S. troops there, so maybe they're worried about somebody getting close. And then, of course, right to just the south of Kaliningrad. But keep in mind, too, Serbia is not necessarily a friendly area either, so there's no telling what they're doing there. Then we got this one. I'm going to kind of zoom in. Bear with me on my zoom. But this is like I said, civilian spy plane. It's a particular company that we've been watching. Man in the middle. right over that little corner of kind of Pennsylvania and Maryland, kind of right in that, tucked into that corner there. But again, man in the middle, so they're spying on folks. Okay. All right. Now let's get back over here. I'm going to show you what's been going on in the Ukraine. This is the last 24 hours. You can see it continues to look like it has. They're not letting up, really. They've been just continuing to hammer them. I don't see any blue airborne alerts deep into the, the far west border. But those are just, they're getting shelled every single day, and the Russians continue to hammer away at it. So now the red dots there are actually going to be Russian troops. All right, you can see there is definitely a buildup since the last time we got together, primarily in Belarus, and then down there in Crimea, you can see got quite a bit there as well. So it doesn't look like Putin is letting up at all or has any intention on letting up. All right. Okay. Go over here and take a look at the NATO ships to see if we got anything going on that catches our eye. Again, pretty busy out here just to the right side of the United Kingdom in this general area. A lot of arrows, not a lot of circles. Again, that's what you're looking for. When this thing goes hot, you're not going to see a lot of circles unless they're in battle mode where they're launching stuff out from a just kind of stagnant standpoint. But where you won't see circles are in the ports, right? Because you don't want another Pearl Harbor. So these guys will bug out and get out into open water more than likely. But nonetheless, still got a lot of stuff going on out here in this general area. This is kind of that area of the pipeline. And, of course, Kaliningrad, not seeing anything. Do have a Lithuanian warship and a Swedish warship. All right. All right, over here to our cyber attack map. Man, you know what? This has been going on now for a couple months. Look at us. We're just getting peppered in the United States. I imagine this is not going to let up either. They're going to continue to blast us. If anything, it'll get worse as time goes on. Right? Okay, now this is the other piece. Something that I found very, very interesting. You're going to notice a couple things here. We're going to go through. These are your heavy movers. That board has just changed. When I looked at it this morning, it was all 737s. You can still see some of them rolling out. What we are continuing to see, folks, are these 737s coming from different points within the United States, not border points. So it's not immigration. They're being processed through Biggs Army Airfield, and they're being deployed into the field, okay, all over the United States. And so I'm going to take a look. First, we're going to show you the arrival board, and I'm going to show you the difference. Now, the heavies, which are like the 6.7s, 4.7s, and 777s, those are going abroad like this, Anchorage, etc. All right. Of course, they're coming inbound. This is the inbound board. You got to see 130 reach there on there. That's actually XPL Honduras. But notice we get down here. These are small. These are domestic, another domestic, all right? Little Delta airline. That could be long haul, but we'll look at it closer. 737, domestic, 3.7s, right? Another 3.7, okay? Those are the ones we want to pay attention to. That one probably ended up going over to United Airlines to Guantanamo Bay. But let's go to the departures because that's what's really important. But these domestic birds are coming in from all over the United States. They're coming into Biggs Army Airfield, and then they're going to different positions. Remember, last time we checked in, it was Los Angeles, Ontario, Portland, all over the place. Fort Drum, lots of different places, okay? Now, take a look at this. Okay, we're going to point out these like this. Nuremberg, we know that's going across the drink. That's a 777. So that's probably troops headed across the drink. But you get into these 737, they're not going across the drink. They don't have the fuel capacity, and they're not air refueling capable. So, because that's United Airlines. Rapid City, South Dakota. All right, look at this. Salt Lake City. This one went back to Pope Army Airfield. This one's headed to Smyrna, Tennessee. Let's see, Campbell Army Airfield. So that's domestic. Bozeman, Montana. That's a 6.7, which is interesting, but that may I don't know. I doubt that's not going across the drink, though. All right. Then we got Missoula, Montana. And let's see, Columbus, Ohio. Camp Douglas, Volk Field. Now, these are 737s. Okay, I'm not pointing out. The other ones here that I'm not pointing out are the wide bodies. That's Omni. We're going to look at those closer here in a minute. Houston, all right. But you can get down into it. This one here, Pope Army Airfield. Again, this is, you're talking the last 2 weeks since I've been gone. So look at the amount on the board for, that's Biggs Army Airfield, okay? Again, deployed domestically. Now, why is this important? Let me show you, all right? First off, I'm going to introduce you to a system, all right, that is, it's called the Heat Rig, all right? Now, it's named after a movie, the Heat movie, whatever, but this is this is a real deal, okay? It's not bulletproof. It is worn probably over a vest, if I had to guess, but it holds 8 AR-15 mags. It'll probably hold some AK mags, but you can see the vest here, all right? And then if you get into how it's supposed to be worn, you can see, right, there it is. I'll just kind of go across, you can see it from the back, outside of a suit or under a suit. You could put a jacket over that. You never see it, right? Here it is. Again, it's made for concealment, not necessarily exterior. Because if somebody's going to wear something exterior, they'd probably just put on, just full up, level 3 armor or whatever, right? They put on body armor and it has pouches on it. You'd be ready to roll, right? Full battle rattle. But this is made for concealment. Now, why is this important? Because let me get over here. I want to show you. Now, I got this from somebody that owns a security company. If you go to this website here, which is Commando Store, this is not the same website as what I'm about to show you. This is actually somebody that owns a security company. They were ordering some vests for their PPO work, which is a personal protection officer that's going to be, walking around concealed, more than likely, level 4 type of stuff. Okay. Now, this was the letter that they got. It says there was they had a delay. They were supposed to get it in November, but the production was basically set aside. It says prioritized an emergency U.S. government contract, which basically caused them to have a halt the week of October 17th, causing a 4-week delay. All right. So, again, emergency U.S. government contract. What are we watching here? And the reason I say this is because that you'd put these on guys that would conceal them. More than likely, if they had an AR platform, it would be a foldable stock. They'd throw it either in a bag, backpack, whatever it may be. They wouldn't go rolling in looking like this on the screen, okay? More than likely. All right. They're going to be hiding within a crowd, or maybe these are teams that are being deployed, or maybe this is tied to Haiti. I don't really know, but it is a data point we need to pay close attention to because, like I said, these flights that are coming in and out of Biggs Army Airfield are highly unusual. I've been watching Biggs for a couple, probably 2 years now, and I will tell you I've never seen anything like this, where they come in from various points domestically and they go into U.S., CONUS, domestic, not sending troops abroad. So these could be contractors. They could be coming in and deploying teams to these locations. I don't really know, but we need to continue to watch it. And I will tell you, it is upticked significantly here domestically. Okay, so that's why I think there's something cooking. All right. Now this is going to take us over to Poland, and we're just going to take a look at the stuff that is in the air currently. As you will see, this is going to be the arrival board coming into Poland. We do have some Brits coming in looking for camber flights. This is going to be U.S. troops. Hill coming out of Ogden, and more Brits. Let's see what we've got on the en route structure here. Not seeing anything catches my eye. Yeah. We do have a Atlas Air. That's a 747. That's going to be moving equipment in more than likely. It could be troops. Those are usually categorized as a camber flight when they have troops on board, okay? So that's going to be bringing in equipment like HIMARS, things like that, okay? But Poland is our forward operating base, okay? You've got F-22s there and a metric ton of U.S. military equipment at that base, all right? Okay, get over to Ramstein. You can see it's pretty quiet today. We got a Reachbird in there that's deployed, headed out to, I don't know where that one's headed. Yeah, doesn't say, just gives me a near location. Got an Atlas Air coming in from Baltimore, Washington. Again, that's probably just bringing equipment in. And then let's get over to Guam, look at Anderson, see if we got anything. You got an Atlas Air inbound and a National Cargo inbound. But notice where that National Cargo is coming from into Guam, Mexico City. That's really strange. Yeah. All right. And then notice we got this one, camber flight rolling out, 47400. That looks to be this particular aircraft, headed outbound to over near Saipan. All right. But it's coming in from Mexico City, which I find very interesting. And then this one here, that Atlas Air that came inbound is headed to Yokota, Tokyo. So we continue to see quite a bit of activity still going out to the Asian Pacific side of the house. Now, from a camber perspective, I'm showing two. Got one coming out of Bahrain, and then we got this one, Gray Army Airfield. That's going to be Fort Hood, inbound to Fort Hood. All right. So, actually, I take that back. This one from Bahrain is inbound. It looks like that is, rolling into Fort Hood. And this one is leaving Fort Hood. Right. I don't even know what to think now. There's your Bahrain. So I got that backwards. And this one, both of them just getting airborne. But shouldn't be headed that direction. I guess that's what threw me off. I was expecting it leaving Fort Hood. That's got to be an error. So it's probably headed across the drink from Fort Hood. All right. But just the aircraft headed back that way threw me off. All right. Yeah, that's what jet lag will do to you, folks. All right. Now, let's get over here. This is going to be your Omni Airs. Just notice you got them coming out of Norfolk, Virginia, Anchorage, Alaska, Topeka, Kansas, and Anchorage, Alaska. Looks to be headed over to Asian Pacific. This one's inbound, outbound, outbound. Okay. And it's going to be your Brits. Interesting. Like that's coming out of, it's on a climb out now, 14,200 feet, 458 miles an hour. Just taking off out of Charleston, South Carolina. And then this one's coming out of, I don't even know where that is. Nonetheless, Poland. All right, rolling out of Poland. That's actually the base we've been watching. So I do know where that is. All right, Navy got one coming out of Oceana. That's Norfolk area, just getting airborne. And the Ruskies. Now, I will tell you, just about an hour ago, I had 4 of them up. This one's coming out. I don't even know where it's coming out. I can't pronounce any of this. And that one's coming out of Ankara. That's coming out of Turkey. And that could be tied to the CIA stuff that folks are there. We know they're meeting in Turkey. And anyway, nonetheless, all right. I think we have covered it all. We talked to refuelers. We talked to Arizona. So we'll continue to keep our eye on Arizona. Again, I do think some shenanigans are in play. The fact that the last 2 times we've seen it, we're tied around the same situation. And so we'll continue to watch that. Watch the Trump thing. I don't know what's going on. I know he's supposed to declare tomorrow he's running for presidency. I'm pretty confident that's going to be the case. And I think the timing of that is critical as well. Again, got some strange stuff going on in Cuba. Don't know what that's all about. But again, we'll just continue to watch it all. These are all data points. That vest thing makes me very curious, and it's a little concerning, not going to lie. When we're watching all of these domestic flights coming out of Biggs Army Airfield, that's not tied to immigration. That makes me feel like maybe we got some contractors being engaged and put into position. All right. So, all right, listen, that's going to be it. Like I said, I'm glad to be back. I missed y'all, and hopefully I'll get over the hump of this weather junk that's in my head and body right now. I hate being under the weather. So Anyway, we'll see you guys on Wednesday. That's it. You guys stay frosty and definitely keep that powder dry. Talk soon. God bless. Monkey out.
Check out the latest gear and products at monkeywerxus.com.